Welcome back to the Cricket Matters podcast. I'm your host, Josh Kennedy, and today we're talking about meditation for cricketers. James, would you say meditation is not just for yoga enthusiasts? Do you think it's become more widely accepted across the sport? Is it, well, actually, you know what? Is it a thing in cricket? Because I would hasten to guess that probably footballers probably do it. Not everyone, but it's, in bigger sports, maybe NFL and stuff like that. I think, it's probably more widely accepted. Is it a thing in cricket?
I don't think it's accepted yet.
Yeah.
I think in the next 5 to 10 years, they'll start to see the benefits of it. So for those who want to get ahead of the game and improve and, get that extra edge over the people they're playing with and against, then I'd say you need to start doing it ASAP. And there's a reason for that. Success leaves clues. If you look at some of the greatest people of all time, sportsmen from a variety of different sports, what do they all say they do? Meditate. From Michael Jordan, if you're old enough to remember Michael Jordan, to Tom Brady, the quarterback, to the current NBA star LeBron James. So many top baseball athletes do it. And then we go back into cricket. You look at the cricketers who talk about it. Former Australian head coach and opening test batsman Justin Langer talks about it. Shane Watson has written a great book about how it changed his game. And you got some of the Indian greats like Rahul Dravid who talks about it too. So I think it's not accepted, it's not known about, it's probably frowned upon and going, why are you doing that shit? That's probably the sort of thing that people will be talking about. It's because it's what I would have thought about 20 years ago too. But I think single-handedly, my own game and working with some of the players we're working with now, it's completely transformed them. And the reason is it helps people become more present, focused and calm when it matters most. Out there in the middle when you're batting or bowling and things go wrong, or you want to kick on and you get tired, it's all about being present. And I think the meditation side of things helps quieten the mind, because most cricketers are not getting out or going wrong from lack of technique. There's an element of technique, but it's lacking the mental skill set and the toolbox to manage things out there in the middle, because there's so many things going on. It's about staying calm and collected. And I think that's where I think cricketers need to learn more about and appreciate it. It's that needs to be controlled more so than the technique.
Has it helped your game, would you say?
Massively, it's helped my game.
What's changed for you then?
Say again?
What has changed for you since using meditation?
It's helped me stay more focused and present. So I can talk you through my routine now when it comes to meditating. And you've seen this because we've put the habit tracker on. We've been doing this consistently. So I do a form of daily meditation. It's not just helping me with my cricket. It's helped me with all the work and all the stress that comes with managing a couple of big companies at the same time. Because it's allowed me to be present and be aware of when things are going wrong or when I'm not focused anymore. So for example, day to day, when I've got so many things on and I need to take a break, I know that I'm not focused on the thing I'm doing. So I walk away, make a cup of tea, go and have a walk, go to the gym, whatever it is, and come back and I'm more focused and productive later on. Well, it's the same thing with when it's batting. You become more present and aware of what's going on around you. So for me personally, everyone gets nervous going out to bat, right? Everyone gets nervous. If anyone says they don't, when I say I'm going to question you on many regards here now. So it's about controlling the mindset and the flow and being able to get present and be aware of what's around you. So by quieting the mind, it gives you the time, the presence and the focus you need to do to focus on watching the ball. So for me, opening the batting is about watching the ball. So it grounds me and makes sure I'm aware and thinking clearly and focus on back to watching that one ball, like Steve James said in one of the previous podcasts. So I'd say my routine starts in the morning when I'll happily do a form of meditation. I'll do a form of yoga, which is also a form of meditation to calm down, which then sets me up into my routine, get a coffee, go to the game, have some throwdowns and get ready to go out to bat. And then brings me into my routine in between. But what I do know is if I play a bad shot, or I've made the wrong decision and get away with it, I'm more present and mindful of what I need to do next and focus on the next stage, if that helps.
Yeah. I was going to say, do you think you can, having done it, you're able to cope better within games now if something does go wrong?
Yes, absolutely. But it's more so than coping, it's having this feeling of being present, right? And that's what most people struggle with. They're not thinking clearly. When you're batting or bowling, you need to empty your head of all the thoughts, negative, maybe not so positive, but negative, technique, what's going on around you, what the crowd doing, what are people thinking about you. You've got to empty all those thoughts and just be present to focus on that one ball, whether you're bowling or batting. Because a lot of people go into a game full of stuff in their head. There's just so much stuff going on where, to boil it down to the simplest format, is watch the ball, play the ball, right? Bowl the ball, hit the stumps. That's as simple as it could be if you need to. But we make this more complicated than we can do. So we've got to empty our head of all the thoughts. And the best single way to do it is through meditation, in my personal opinion. And it's not just my opinion, technically. It's all the greatest athletes that have gone before us, pretty much, who have said they use this technique to help them stay focused, present, calm and relaxed, to make sure they play at their very best each and every time.
Yeah, well, as we said at the start of the podcast, it's far more widely accepted and performed in other sports like basketball, like baseball, football, etc. And as always, with our podcast, we have a blog to go with it. And there's I was just reading through it again, and there's a really few interesting studies. Like they did one on the NCAA Division I collegiate baseball players who did essentially about 6 sessions of meditation and mindfulness, and it found that it reduced their stress levels, improved their resilience, their coping skills, mechanisms when they were playing the game, which is obviously really important because, as you say, let's go you as a batsman. You've said to me, because I'm learning more about the game as we do this, obviously, you're teaching me. One of the main reasons that people get out early is because of stress, right?
Yep.
Early in the innings. They have to... do they call it batting themselves in or sort of playing themselves in?
Playing themselves in, getting themselves in. You're almost there.
Yeah. So obviously, with this study on the NCAA baseball guys, it shows that, as it says, increase their resilience and their coping skills and mindfulness, which will obviously help them improve their batting overall. So what would be then, if somebody's thinking, okay, you know what, James, you've convinced me, I'll give it a little go. What would be some practical tips for cricketers to start using some meditation?
Yeah, well, before I go into that, I think for any parent listening out here, the number of times I hear kids 14, 15, 16 who get really nervous and anxious. They're great players, they're superb in the nets, but they get really anxious in the middle. This is something that can really help them, I think. So for the parents, for the athletes, for the cricketers, whoever it is, even if you're listening to this and struggling with stress at work, right? This definitely applies to all of you. But yeah, so it's right. What are the steps to get started? I'd say the simplest and easiest way is download the Headspace app on iOS or Android. And there's a number of courses on there to get started. There's hundreds of courses. It's crazy. But type in the search sports, and you'll see sports concentration, sports focus, sports training, how to consider training as an important aspect. You've got stuff on mindful eating. There's all these different things on there. But I'd say focus on the sports competition and training aspect with the concentration. And there are 10 courses. That's 30 days worth of stuff. And I think you get like a 7 or 14-day trial with each of them. So it's free to use, and then it's $6.99 a month. So whether you want to choose afterwards, but at least you can give it a go, give it a try, because it talks you through it step by step from a world-renowned expert on meditation. But if you're not going to do that, then you're going to start learning and watching YouTube videos, listen to some other podcasts maybe about meditation, practicing deep breathing. Like I say, get very good at breathing. Now that sounds crazy because we all breathe all day, every day, but breathing is key to it. And learn to diaphragmatically breathe and belly breathe. So that's important too. But I'd say that's the simplest and easiest way to get started. Rather than me trying to give you loads of tips, there's a better expert out there who's a pro in this, and there's some really good tools and resources there. So definitely go and check the Headspace app. I think Calm as well is another one you can use. I prefer Headspace just because the way it is and the way it's laid out. But it's entirely up to you. But that's where I'd start for sure.
Brilliant. And it's sometimes I don't know how you do it, but sometimes, as you say, it can just be focusing on deep breathing. Sometimes calming music might help. That's part of it. What's your routine then? And a little bit more detail?
Well, as in for the actual meditation side of things, or leading into the game itself?
Do you just focus on breathing? Do you have music, or is it a combination? What do you do?
Listen to the app. So that's just listen to the app. So I will choose either the sports competition or the sports focus pack that they have in there, which is a 10-day course. And I will make sure that the night before I will do 10 minutes of, it's only 10 to, I think 10 or 11:38, I think exactly. I've done it so many times now, I've seen it's at that time.
Precisely, 11 minutes 38.
It's precisely 11:38. Quote me on that if you'd like. But it's leading up to it as well. Remember, I now practice this daily. So I've made it a habit of doing it daily. But specifically going into the game, on the night before, I'll do 10 minutes of meditation. I'll also do some yoga, some mobility work, which is part of that meditation, so technically 20-minute stuff. And then in the morning, I'll always start and focus the day by doing the 10 minutes meditation. I will then do 15, 20 minutes worth of yoga mobility stuff, because that's, again, it adds me to feeling this relaxed flow, calm, peaceful type of process. And then I'll just watch something on TV. Like in August time, I was watching the rugby on TV. I was watching the Tri-Nations, or what they call it. It's not the Tri-Nations anymore, but like New Zealand, South Africa, Australia.
Oh, the rugby
quite a lot.
Championship?
It is rugby championship. That's the one. Yeah. So I was watching that just to chill out before a game. I then go and get a coffee with the boys, because we all have breakfast club, and then I go into having a hit. So it's the kind of simple routine that I have day in day out. If the rugby's not on, I'll put something on Netflix or something just to chill out and not think about cricket. But I've done my prep before I switch off completely. You with me? And I'm going to the game and I go, okay, well, who am I playing today? Have a look at the pitch, make my decision there. But it's the same routine I want to follow, because it's important to have that process, but to feel calm and relaxed when you're going out to play.
I was going to say, that's the key word, I think, routine, isn't it? Have that same routine. So there's reduce the amount of surprises potentially, which will always obviously, lead to nerves, won't it? Okay, so just to sum up then, why is meditation important for cricketers?
In short, it helps you keep calm, focused and relaxed when it matters most, allowing you to go on, score more runs, get more wickets and make better decisions when it matters most in important game situations. And for parents out there, it's a great way to introduce your kids at a young age to help them control their nerves and anxiety, which they understandably have. So that's what my tip would be for them.
Fantastic. Thank you, mate. That's really great stuff. That is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review and subscribe. And if you would like our free training plan, then go to cricketmatters.com/train.